Game Beard. Hi Game Beard gamers. Today for our basic tutorial we're going to talk about coloring glass like this. And you can get real good results very simply. And if you don't know this trick, I actually learned this from our other Game Beard, soon to be Game Beard associate Wayne. So Wayne taught me this one and I didn't believe him at first, So basically what you do here, but this is what it looks like. It looks nice, right? But the trick is this. You take, I don't have a canopy to paint, so I'm going to use this old ghetto flight stand that I'm not going to use anymore, but I'm going to paint behind it. But basically what you do is you get your canopy for your aircraft or whatever, typically it's an aircraft, and you paint on the inside. And you paint a glaze or a wash, and it works pretty darn good. And I remember when Wayne, soon to be Game Beard associate, he told me that. I was like, I didn't believe him. I'm like, you're crazy. It can't be. It's so thin and liquidy. There's no way it will work. But sure enough, it works. It goes on liquidy, and you almost have to I'll show you, but it's gonna spill around, and you have to kind of turn it around to kind of get it just to coat the glass. But you do it on the back. You paint on the back, and then somehow the clear plastic on the front kind of blends it for your eye, and so it looks pretty darn good. So it blew me away, and so I did it. This is an old 8th edition objective. It's kind of like a little Tyranid. So we had this nice big glass piece, and so I painted. You have to do it before you glue it together, right? So I painted this purple, and I believe this was a wash because this is all I have. I think a glaze might work better, but a wash is super liquidy. But I painted it in there on the reverse side, and it kind of dripped down and kind of coated it, but it looks pretty good. It looks pretty clean considering it's going to go on, when I show you, it's going to go on pretty rough. It's going to go on pretty goofy. So, but that looks great. So I love that effect. That was, here you can see. Here you can see some goofiness of it. Let's see. There you can see some inconsistency of it, but man, I'm holding it close to a camera with a spotlight on it. Normally, if it's over here, you don't see that stuff. It looks pretty good. And this is also a pretty big canopy too. Okay, let's look at this. I have this, my dusty, gosh, what is this thing? Oh my gosh, I forgot the name of this guy. It's not the Thunderhawk, it's the short and fat Thunderhawk. Oops. Oh well, whatever this thing is. Sorry, it's been a while. But I got this nice green tint. From a distance, it looks more green. Let's see. I can't make it more distant. Has that nice green tint. It looks greener in real life. I promise. I promise. Okay, but that's green, so I did a green glaze. So I recommend, if you have a glaze, that probably works better than a wash. But I must say I did do a wash on that Tyranid thing. Okay, but I do have this. This is an old school green glaze. I'm not sure if Citadel still makes glazes. I'm sure they do. Basically, this is more of like an ink, I think. It's more of an ink, so it's a more saturated. It's more saturated with pigment, right? So this probably will work better than a blue wash. Nowadays, I've never used a contrast paint, but I assume they're similar. A contrast paint may work. You can test it out on an old flying base. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that'll work. Okay, I'm going to get a bigger brush. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get it on. Okay, I'm just going to paint it. I'm painting it on the inside. You probably don't want your brush to be wet. Look how it's not really going on. It's kind of like, what? It's struggling. But it goes on. You just have to paint it. You might have to just kind of bear with it a little bit. Let's see. Oh man, that does not look good. I promise you though, this is how I did it on that canopy. And technically, that canopy, let's see, from a distance it looks green, it looks good. Technically, if it's not enough of a color, you could probably do another coat. But I'd be careful if you do another coat. So see if you can see it's coming around. Yeah, so see that, how it's just, I can almost coat it by just turning this thing. Yeah, there it is. And if I just take my time, I can just kind of get a nice smooth coat until that really just stops spreading around. But really, that's it. I mean, it'll look good. If you don't believe me, get one of these old, weak, flight stands that you're not going to use anymore. Wow, that paint is still in there. Sometimes I just get tired of it and I don't even bother doing this. I just kind of set it. I just set it to like dry. Like maybe I can let it dry a little bit here, or I want to get around that little peg a little bit. Let's see if I can do that. Nope. I could probably paint it around that peg too. Let's see. There we go. There. Okay. But this will dry and this will look good. Now if I flip it over, let's see. That's not very dark though. You may not want it to be too dark. But let's see. And yeah, the computer doesn't look so... Oh, yeah, it doesn't look so great yet. So maybe a second coat, but that's really it. I mean, this is what I did to get this. I did purple. Purple was so maybe a second coat. Or I would leave it though. I would let this dry, maybe spin it around. This thing's ultra round, so it's kind of funky. Let it dry before you do a second coat because you want to see, like, this is pretty good. I don't remember having much struggle doing this. I mean, I painted it. I probably had a bigger brush, but it worked really well. I mean, that looks nice. It almost got pretty dark. I don't remember. It's been a few years since I did this. I might have done 2 coats. I would do 1 coat, let it totally dry. Let it dry. Remember, though, you're painting the inside of it, so that way on the outside kind of smooths it out. This looks kind of funky here. Let me just, for kicks, let me get a little more paint in there. I don't know if that's going to help. I doubt it, but I'm. But this works great. And if you have like a yellow, like an orc fighter bomber, like you could do like an orange or a yellow. Like a yellow is kind of nice. Let me see if I can get a little more in here. Probably do it so you can see it. I have a problem because it's like it's all pooling in the center. This thing is like specifically super concave. I mean, most canopies are concave. But what I can do is I'm going to turn it upside down. I could probably even paint this part too if I wanted. Okay. And then I'm hoping, actually, that might be good because it's just going to collect in that center. Maybe I can whisk it away with my brush a little bit. Yeah. Just wipe it. It's probably best to let it dry like this. Maybe I can paint this too. Right? Let it dry like this. Because it's pretty smooth. And then and when it's dry, I can do another coat. But I'm just going to flip it over just for kicks. Problem is, I need a napkin because I don't want this on my hands. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. It looks good on the white. So just a little bit of persistence. Don't go too crazy. Remember, like, don't panic and put a ton on. Start simply, maybe start on like an expendable piece, right? Or maybe a window that's not your main window. Or maybe you have an old model kit that just has this plastic. Give it a try, practice it. But it works great. I love it. Like I said, I used it on my Thunder. It's not the Thunderhawk. Gosh, what is that thing called? That big Space Marine spaceship thing? It's not Thunderhawk. It's oh man, it's killing me. You'll tell me. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments. You're going to tell me exactly what that thing is. And so thank you very much for educating me. I highly appreciate you telling me the correct what that correct unit is. But anyways, it's practically a Thunderhawk. It was like, oh, we can't really make a Thunderhawk because that's too expensive. We'll just make this crappy little stubby thing and sell this thing for like $100 instead. And that's kind of a shame because it would have been nice to get a plastic Thunderhawk way back in the day. I don't know if that was 5th edition. It was probably 5th edition. Yeah, it was like late 5th edition. There was like rumors that there was going to be a Thunderhawk. And it was like, oh, that'll be so awesome. Like, I'll pay for it. I'll pay $200 for that Thunderhawk if it's plastic and awesome. Sure enough, though, they come out with this thing. And it's kind of like, wow. It's like, man, I didn't even buy this thing right away. I bought this, I got this at a convention. I had to paint it, fix it. I had to fix it up. So I mean, I got it at a deal, but I didn't even buy them when they first come out. I was so disappointed. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Basically, it's a short and squat Thunderhawk wannabe. So, anyways, that's it. Storm Raven? Is that what it is? Storm Raven? That sounds familiar. Anyways, that's it for painted canopies and glass. Um, Give it a try. Remember, use wash, but if you have something a little more like a glaze, practice though. I have these old school, like I said, I have these old school glazes, and I'm not sure if GW still makes those, but a glaze may work better than a wash. But like I said, I believe I used this purple for that Tyranny thing, and this thing turned out gangbusters. That's gangbusters. I'm stoked on that. So I don't know, give it a try, but I would experiment on a old piece first. That'll look great when it dries. I'm not gonna. You think, oh Dave, are you gonna like cut to it and film it like you're gonna wait it dry and then you're gonna show us at the end and edit it in? No, no. Trust me, it'll look great. It's gonna look great. It's gonna look great. So, anyways, have a great week, and I'll see you next time when we do a another basic tutorial, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.